Welcome to Cinemonika. Hello. It's been a while since I did a film diary video where I tell you everything that I watched in a month. I'm not gonna do that because it's been a couple of months, but instead what I want to do is let you know all of the great movies that I've seen lately in the past few months that I 100% recommend. Oh, wait, before I start, look at this. This is a vest that I thrifted. It's a Sailor Moon embroidered vest. Excuse me. I just had to show you because it's amazing and I thought you guys would appreciate it, so... Oh! Also, I have the cutest flowers, wait. So cute. As I was saying, I haven't updated what I've watched lately. I've been really busy, but also I've been concentrating a bit on my Cinephile vlogs, which I'm really proud of, and I hope that you guys go watch them and give them some love. But now, let's talk about movies. And as always, I love recommending movies that I've loved. And it makes me equally happy when you guys recommend me movies in the comments or recommend, other people reading the comments. All right, let me take this off. It's a little hot. I am going to check my letterbox for this because I do not remember what I watched yesterday. Actually, that's a lie. I watched Lord of the Rings. The first movie that I want to recommend is an old movie that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen already, but it was my first time watching it, and it's Paris, Texas, which is directed by Wim Wenders.
Cinemonika writes,
I absolutely loved Perfect Days, which is Wim Wenders' newest movie. Since I loved that movie so much, I decided to watch Paris, Texas, which is, I guess, Wim Wenders' most famous movie. Yeah, if you haven't watched it already, I 100% recommend it. It's so beautiful to look at. The cinematography in this film is just incredible. Like, I could not believe what I was watching most of the time because I was in awe. The colors in this movie alone gave me so much inspiration. It's about a man who is wandering through the desert. He doesn't really remember who he is, where he's at, nothing. His brother finds him and they try to bring his memories back. It is very beautiful. It makes you question what a father really is. What I truly loved the most about it was, like I said before, the cinematography. Next is The Taste of Things. It's a beautiful French film about food, specifically about these two chefs who fall in love, and it's all shown through food. It's absolutely beautiful. I love movies that are about food. Fun fact, in my family there are several chefs and everybody loves to cook and they're a really big foodie family. Except for me, I'm not to the level of the rest of my family, like literally everybody. Some Monika lore for you. I do love movies about food though. And every time there's chefs cooking and, showing the preparation of food and all of that, I go crazy for that. So I truly like this movie. It's also just a beautiful story. It's a romance story. It's honestly one of the most sensual movies I've seen this year. They don't really show a lot of nakedness and things like that, but I feel like the way that they use the cooking and food and everything like that, it's just very central. So yeah. Then I watched Spaceman, which is a Netflix movie starring Adam Sandler. I actually went to the premiere for this film, which was incredible. Like, the premiere itself was incredible because I was able to see Adam Sandler like standing right there. But anyways, back to the film. The film, I wouldn't say it's like my favorite Adam Sandler movie. It's not comedy at all. It's actually pretty dramatic, but I thought that it was very creative. We have seen Adam Sandler in dramatic roles before, but this one was just so different from all of his other dramatic roles and obviously his comedy roles. It was literally him in a spaceship for the entirety of the film and this CGI giant spider who acted as his therapist. I don't know who pitched this. He has a lot of issues and he goes to space to evade all of his problems, basically. He goes on this mission. He starts hallucinating this giant spider who can talk and understand and like feel his feelings. I think that this movie is very flawed. It's not a perfect film, but I definitely recommend for you guys to watch it if you're Adam Sandler fans and you want to see him doing something different. Also, the spider is played by Paul Dano, so... Next is Dune Part 2. I don't think I have to speak much about it, and I'm sure, I am 100% sure that every single one of you watching this video has seen Dune Part 2. If you haven't, please let me know in a comment. Dune Part 2, one of the most beautiful looking movies that I've ever seen. Very exhilarating. Paul Atreides, I cannot believe that you just did that. Who do you think you are? Lisan Al-Gaib? Man. I also watched this animated French film called Fantastic Planet. It's pretty old, it's from 1973, and you know what, guys? It is honestly one of the most bizarre things I have ever experienced. Never in my life have I seen something like this before. It was bizarre, but it was incredibly compelling. These aliens, or creatures, blue creatures, I guess they are gigantic because they have humans, little humans, as pets. They have a very abusive relationship towards their pets or the humans. Some of these humans rebel against these creatures and they have their own colony and they try to overtake or, fight back. Honestly, I could not take my eyes away from this film. It is so weird, but the animation, it draws you in, I feel like. The soundtrack was one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. Honestly, it's definitely worth a watch if you want to watch something different. If you like animation, definitely give this a watch. Next is Problemista. I feel like this film has not gotten any promotion. Why, A24? Why? It was made by Julio Torres and it stars himself and Tilda Swinton. And it's about this guy who is an immigrant in the US. He is trying to get a work visa in order to stay in this country. I definitely could relate a lot, and I'm sure so many people can relate to this film. If only it got more promotion and everybody saw it. And it just shows you how many hoops you have to go through in order to basically want a different life in the US and being able to just be here and work. Even though this process is very common, very difficult, and very serious, this movie gives a very interesting and imaginative, creative portrayal of this huge issue. The main character, Alejandro, is very lovable and just a weird guy. Also, Tilda Swinton, she's just eclectic and a weird gal. I don't want this film to sound like it's very dramatic because it really isn't. Like I said, it's so creative and it's really funny too. Worth a watch for sure. Next is La Quimera, which is a neon film and it stars Josh O'Connor. So beautiful. Love this film so much. It's about this guy and his friends. They are in Italy and basically they rob tombs and they extract artifacts from tombs, from ancient tombs, and they sell them on the black market. It's also a lot more than that because what the main character, Josh O'Connor, what he's going through emotionally and what he has gone through in his past correlates directly to why he's doing all of this. But I don't want to give anything away. This film is so beautiful. It's set in Italy. Josh O'Connor, he doesn't even speak that much during the entire film, but he gives an incredible performance. Next is Monster by Koreeda. I love this film so much that I made a dedicated Instagram reel review. It is definitely one of the most delicate and beautiful films I've seen in a while. And it's just no surprise that it comes from Koreeda, who makes the most beautiful films ever to exist, I think. And the most human and emotional films I've seen. He's just the master of tender and human stories about family, about found family, about troubled and lost young people. This movie is very special though because it's told through different perspectives. So we have several different characters and we see kind of the same story each time, but it's told through each different perspective of the character. So every time that you see a new story and how it unfolds, you realize that things weren't as you thought they were, and it was just this really fun puzzle to put together. It's no wonder that it won Best Screenplay at Cannes because it's just a masterful screenplay. The score and the cinematography and the story, everything was a 10 out of 10 for me. Definitely bring tissues if you're gonna watch this film. Next is Musica. It's a film by ex-Vine star Rudy Mancuso and Camila Mendes, who was on Riverdale, and she's also his girlfriend, so you could definitely see the chemistry in this film. It's about this guy who can pretty much feel music in everything. So if he's walking around his neighborhood and he just hears random noises on the street, he can piece a song together. Sometimes it becomes too much and it stops him from doing anything. He is kind of stuck in his life. He doesn't know exactly what to do after school, after he graduates. His dream is to become a musical puppeteer. There were a lot of musical elements to it, musical numbers, and honestly, it was overall really funny in my opinion. Before there was TikTok, there was Vine. So I don't know if maybe I'm just used to the Vine humor, but this movie was really funny to me and it was really creative too. So I highly recommend it. I think it was also just a sweet rom-com. Speaking of rom-coms, I watched The Idea of You, which is the new Anne Hathaway film. I got invited to a really early screening and maybe I would have skipped it, but because it was Anne Hathaway, I was like, Anne, I trust you and I want to see this movie. Let me tell you, it was the most fun I've had at the movie theater in the past, I don't know how many years, probably since I first watched Twilight when I was 14 or 13. The theater was full of people, mostly women, who were screaming, kicking their feet, enjoying this film so much. I was honestly having the time of my life and everybody else around me also was having their time of their life. So what that tells me is that this movie should be watched with a bunch of your friends. Next is Monkey Man. Monkey Man is a film directed by Dev Patel and starred by Dev Patel and produced by Jordan Peele. First of all, I love Dev Patel. Second of all, I love Jordan Peele movies. So this was perfect. I'm usually not drawn to action films, especially like really violent action, fast-paced films. I'm more of a slow-paced, Koreeda type of girl. But because it was Dev Patel and Jordan Peele together, I was like, I'm just gonna have to watch this and see for myself if I like it or not. I absolutely loved it. Yes, it is extremely high energy, action-packed, violent, really violent actually. But it was also really beautiful in my opinion. I was honestly holding my breath throughout the entire movie, probably. But also, I was just in awe of the cinematography because it was incredible. And the editing. Loved the editing. I thought it was very creative and cool. The action scenes, the choreography, the music, the soundtrack, everything was really cool. Honestly, that's the word I would give this movie. Cool. And that's it. I've seen a lot more movies these past few months, but these are the ones that I 100% recommend and that I think you guys should watch. If you want to see everything else that I've seen, you can check my Letterboxd. Let me know if you've seen any of these films and what you thought of them, and also what movies you guys 100% recommend that you've seen lately. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.